and welcome to KamenRider Blackman. Today, we are not talking about Tokusatsu because we're instead talking about the new Dragon Ball Super movie. This movie... I'll say this. This is a movie where it's definitely not like any of the other movies that came before it. Like, this is the first Dragon Ball Z movie where to enjoy it, you have to turn your brain off. Because if you don't turn your brain off, like I unfortunately didn't, you're gonna call that movie out on its bullshit while it's on your screen happening. Now, I saw this movie yesterday when it came out, and let's explain some of the simple things about it anyway. For starters, this is the first, I want to say, DBZ movie that didn't focus on Goku or Gohan, more or less. Like, the more center focus on the movie was more on Piccolo, since he's the one who literally gets the most screen time, and Goku and Vegeta don't. And there's a reason as to why, and good Lord in Christ, it's one of the reasons why I think this movie is just mixed. The good parts about this movie are mainly the action. The parts on it that I call out is freaking everything else. Now, first off, let's talk about the plot and whole reasoning for this movie, which all ties back to the Red Ribbon Army with Dr. Gero. But he's dead, so instead we focus on two characters. Dr. Gero's son, I guess, sort of, and his grandson, which, weirdly enough, if those two are to be related, it's weird how they don't know each other. I'll be honest, like I said, I saw this movie yesterday out in theater, so it was English dubbed and not in Japanese subtitles, which is probably something different. But yeah, one of the main villains in this movie is Dr. Gero's son named Magenta, to which, yeah, Magenta. I'm not even gonna... It's the world of Dragon Ball Z, so names like freaking Krillin and Tien exist. So I'm not just gonna think that his parents hated him enough to name him Magenta. And so the villain Magenta has been working, well, since his father's passing, and even including the destruction of the Red Ribbon Army. Dr. Gero's son Magenta, oh my god, has been working behind the scenes to bring back the Red Ribbon Army to full power through other means, like pharmaceutical business and whatnot. And the first piece of business he does is, as soon as the grandson, Dr. Hedo, is released from prison, he goes to recruit him into creating the ultimate android. Now, with Dr. Hedo himself, he is an interesting character because while you think while we at first think that he's going to be another villain, he is not. He actually quite likes superheroes, despite the fact that as soon as he left prison, he threw a bomb into the entire prison, blew it up, most likely killing people. But yeah, he's a fan of superheroes. So much that Magenta twists the story around of the relationship between the Z Fighters and the Red Ribbon Army, making the Z Fighters sound like the bad guys and the Red Ribbon Army sound like the good guys. Which makes me think about it. And even from last night when I was talking to like my friends Thomas and John about this, they're wondering how come if this guy is so smart, since Dr. Hedo is a scientist just like Jiro and is able to create androids, if the scientist is so smart, how come he's not aware of the Red Ribbon Army's misdeeds and even the evil deeds of the androids? I don't know. I have no idea how long he's been in prison for, but I don't know. Look, think about it this way. It is all produced by Toei, and how many times has the evil villains been under attack by monsters and they have been thwarted by Kamen Riders? And yet, year by year, their actions aren't documented. Just move on from it and keep going. But, yeah, like I said, a good focus of this movie is on Piccolo, because he is... Oh god, we're gonna get into the stuff from this movie that I hated. First off, this movie is extremely cliche. It plays most of the cliches that you can predict from a mile away. The first one that I'll admit did not happen is when Piccolo first meets the two androids of the movie. Either Gamma 2. It was Gamma 2. Like, they first fight, and then Piccolo trails him back to the new Red Ribbon Army headquarters and actually plays infiltrating. Like, he sneaks inside the Red Ribbon Army base, learns their plans, and learns about one of the new villains of the movie that's currently in production, Cell Max, which we'll talk about in a bit, trust me. And honest to God, like, if you've seen this trope before, the whole infiltrating trope before, you would think that Piccolo would eventually get caught, right? On the contrary, he doesn't. And he's actually... Yeah, he just doesn't get caught at all, so... Wow, lucky him. And, oh my god... Here we go. We're touching it. We're touching it now. Goku and Vegeta, for a good portion of this movie, are training at Beerus's world, and the other characters from the Broly movie and Broly, they're there training too and whatnot. Like, Beerus falls in love with like the green girl, whose name I don't know. I'm not too sure if she was from... I'm not too sure if she's actually in the show or was just from the Broly movie. Maybe the Broly movie? I don't know nor remember. But anywho, they can't come back to Earth to help out with the androids because Beerus isn't by his staff to answer Bulma's calls. I'm dead serious. They can't come in contact with Lord Beerus because he's not picking up their calls. And Bulma and Piccolo, they do so many other things, like, before then to see if they can get their help, like going to... Ah, crap. I am so... God... I'm slipping on my DBZ lore. Like, they go to... Not Kamehameha. They go to the lookout. The lookout. They go to the lookout. Fuck me. Oh my god. They go to the lookout, see Dende, see if... And pick... Like, they go to the lookout, they meet up with Dende, and Piccolo wonders if Dende could draw out his inner power, like how the Grand Elder how the Grand Elder did with Gohan and Krillin, but since that's something that Dende can't do, they instead use the Dragon Balls. And what do they not do? they don't call Goku and Vegeta for help. First wish, admittedly, best wish they could have used because it helps out with the movie. Piccolo wishes for further power to be drawn out of him and gets it, which will be extended on later. And with the and I believe with this with this Shenron II, like Dende used it to Dende tweaked it so that they can be granted 3 wishes. So first wish is used for Piccolo to have more power. The other 2 are used for Bulma to get cosmetic surgery. And what do they not do? They don't wish back for Goku and Vegeta. They didn't even need the Dragon Balls for that. They were at the lookout. They could have asked Dende to literally reach them. And before anyone tries to say, because this is a defense that my friend John tried to make yesterday too, that because they're out at Beerus' world, they couldn't reach them because of a force field. No, bullshit. I find that to be bullshit. Goku has literally used instant transmission to go from Earth to another planet before plenty of times. Beerus' world could not be that special that they cannot reach him through that. Like, no. Oh my god. So yeah, we're touching on the moments where this movie becomes cliche. Another part is when Piccolo literally berates Gohan for not being as strong as he used to be. Well, excuse him for settling down and having a family, everyone. But with how this movie does it, it's just dickery. It's just straight dickery. Like, the Red Ribbon Army, first off, has been keeping tabs on everyone and decides to kidnap Pan, who is a character in this movie that's 3 years old. They kidnap her, and Piccolo is aware of it, and even tells Pan, hey, you're going to have to pretend like you're being kidnapped here so that your dad can go balls to the wall, angry and be mad, and be powerful like from when he was younger and defeated Cell. And that's just a good chunk of this movie. A good chunk of this movie is this sentence. It was just a prank, bro. Like, oh my god. And it's just Piccolo and Gohan for a good portion of it, which admittedly is awesome. That's awesome because it's Piccolo and Gohan going up against the new androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Which, by the way, those 2 characters are actually pretty cool. And the entire time when watching the movie, I was calling them the Thunder Rangers. And the thing about them... And, oh my god, this is one of the best things about... Here's why I like these characters, and it's one of the best things about this movie. They're not stupid, and neither is Dr. Hedo. Once they start going on about justice and whatnot, working with the Red Ribbon Army to obtain justice and whatnot, the wheels start turning quite a bit for them to realize that they've been lied to. And now, well, actually, before getting to Cell Max, let's talk about Orange Piccolo. Yes, that's a real name and thing. Piccolo gets a new form where he turns orange for some odd reason. Like, it's not gold. Well, crap, now I think about it, I actually would like to imagine that now. That if instead of orange it was gold, probably look a little bit more impressive. But either way, this new form of Piccolo turns him gold. It's basically its own It's basically Piccolo's own version of going Super Saiyan, but orange, and he calls it Orange Piccolo. You could have called it Super Namekian. No, Orange Piccolo. Okay. Moving on. Cell Max. Cell Max. Oh my god. I was like 3 steps ahead of this movie the entire time. I was 3 steps ahead of them being cliche of forgetting to summon Goku and Vegeta with the Dragon Balls. I was 3 steps ahead of, and I was definitely 3 steps ahead of this movie for this scene, where I was thinking, oh look, it's Cell, but he's Godzilla sized. Turns out Cell Max is actually Godzilla sized and that huge. And honest to God, I was watching this movie thinking, no, I did not mean to predict this movie. Oh my god, this movie, it can be so predictable. Like, oh my god, this movie is so predictable. And I think even when I watched Broly a long time ago, I didn't figure out every beat at every second. Like, good gosh. I definitely don't think it's... One thing about the Dragon Ball Z movies, anyone's canon or non-canon, is that you can't tell with each movie what's going to happen next. And I definitely don't treat it as a matter of, if you've seen one movie, then you've seen them all. It's like, you really can't tell what will happen. It's like, with some of them, it's like, you really can't tell what would happen next. Not so much that you really can't tell what would happen next, so much as, how are they going to be the villain of this movie? Like, watching something like the first Broly movie ever, and it's Goku versus Broly. Yeah, we know Goku's going to win because he's one of the strongest anime characters ever out there, and still is to this day. But it's a matter of, how is he going to win? And it's a matter of how he's going to win, because his strength alone can't be enough in certain cases. Because think back to the first Broly movie, he had to gather so much energy just for the straight up spirit bomb to impale Broly's ass. So it's straight up, so yeah. But with this movie, like with Piccolo dicking Gohan around, it's the Broly movie light. Very light. Because, oh my god. Like, Piccolo tries to get Gohan so distressed and angry so much, it's like, how about not do it this way then, you dick? He's a father now. That should be more motivation enough for him to go crazy, especially to this new form that Gohan does get, called Beast Gohan. I'm not even gonna question that, because freaking Mystic Gohan is an actual title of that. Moving on, with Cell Max, first off, all the other characters come back and took their sweet time. Goten, Trunks, Android 18, and Krillin. They actually came to help. After how long? And whatever. Even after that, the movie's still not over. But with Cell Max, good God, it's like, with Cell Max, I'll say this, they do land hits on them. All the Z Fighters and the Gamma androids Gamma 2 sacrifices himself in hoping to beat him. And unfortunately, even that wasn't enough. Like, oh my god, I was just sad. Gamma 2 was entertaining as all hell. But yeah, they throw real mean hits in at Cell Max. But unfortunately, it's not enough to beat him. So then, one thing that does help is that Orange Piccolo grows giant size. Because apparently Piccolo can do that. If anyone has seen the old DBZ series, like when Piccolo was a villain, then yes, that's a thing. Piccolo can actually grow giant size. And for like 30 or so years, he just never did that again. How many threats have they faced within those years where that trick could have been useful? Hell, one time when Gohan went Great Ape, Piccolo could have just done that? Not just that. Like, Piccolo can also be Mr. Fantastic too with his limbs. So, and you think, how many times do we really see him do that? I don't mean grow his limbs out to be stretchy and whatnot, but the most he ever does is his arm gets cut off, so he shoots out a new arm. You never really see him play Plastic Man. It'd be like watching an episode. It's like watching an episode of One Piece where you just see Luffy fight, but you think, hey, how come he doesn't do what he usually does and stretch his limbs out? So, yeah. Beast Gohan. It's a form where Gohan, I believe, I think he has like gray hair. And he is just, yeah, OP'd, powered with Orange Piccolo's help, almost sacrificing himself. Gohan has the straight up rage and power to just kill Cell Max once and for all. This honest to God movie. The good parts about this movie are the action. The bad parts are just how predictable and cliche it can be. Honestly, God, like I said, this is a Dragon Ball Z movie where you have to turn your brain off for. Not like in certain cases where you try to wonder where in continuity this would take place. Like, no, this is literally the first Dragon Ball Z movie where you have to turn your brain off. Because if you think about things, you're gonna be like me right now. Just, why do they do that like that? But yeah, but I still do appreciate this movie because happy ending, at least for Dr. Hedo and Gamma 1. They survived to the end because, well, they're still good guys. They were tricked into Red Ribbon Army thinking they were doing this for good, but hey, they're the good, but hey, second chances. Also, that character Magenta, yeah, he dies. Was not really worth all that mentioning. He just dies. Oh shoot, that actually reminds me. There's actually I left the theater before watching the post-credit scene, and I wonder what that's like, which I'm gonna check out now. So, excuse me as I pause for a second.
He got me. I did it. I finally reached Kakarot.
my god, movie. You just... Oh my god, movie. First of all, how you do Vegeta like... Oh my god. Oh, screw you, movie. Good god. Just... Oh my god. Well, that's been Dragon Ball Super, or me just talking about this movie. This was not a scripted review, but trust me, if I was to do a proper review of this movie, my laptop would be on the side and everything. But since I just saw it last night, I'm just vomiting out what I saw and giving my thoughts on it. But that was this movie. Feel free to check it out if you want. And if it's the Japanese dub film, I'll be curious about that next. So, thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.